Good morning. So we are back with our new tutorial. This topic is GSM 2G. So this is our GPS tracker. This it. So the thing is like this. Whenever you press this reset button, it sends a SMS with your location to this mobile phone. Okay, to this number. So we'll have a look how you can make calls, how you can use AT commands in GSM, and how you can build a GPS tracker. So this SMS has come. Let us go to the location, open link, okay, and it takes you directly to your Google map and show you your location. Okay, so let's have a look. So let us get familiar with the items we are going to use today. So first of all, we are going to use this GSM or 2G module. This is called A6 mini. So it has got an antenna, and in the back side it has got a SIM slot. Okay, so this is a very compact and easy to use module. Next, for GPS tracker module, we will be using Neo 7M or Neo 6M also works. So this module is from uBlocks. So this is a patch antenna. This can be stationed inside the device, but as we are inside house, so GPS signal may not reach us well. So we'll be using this extended antenna. So I will put this GPS antenna outside my window, and here is the IPEX connector. This IPEX connector goes actually here. Okay, and next of course we'll be using our Wishtri board. Okay, here's the Wishtri board. So this Wishtri board is running on LiPo battery, which is 3.7 volt and 2200 milliamp hour. It is connected to a CCCV charge controller and buck boost converter, because the GSM module will work on 5 volt, so we need to boost it from 3.7 to 5 volt. And also please keep in mind, GSM module at peak needs almost 1.5 ampere of current, so we need to keep that in mind. Okay, so we'll be using both ESP8266 and ESP32. So some of the tasks we'll be doing on ESP8266. We'll be using it on the board like this. Okay, and some of the projects we'll be doing on ESP32, and we'll put it on our board like this. And the GSM module goes in here. So let me put it now. Okay, so this is it. So this is how our system will look like. Okay, so let us begin. So let us first get into ESP32 circuit. Okay, so what we are doing, actually we are giving it a LiPo 3.7 volt LiPo, and we are using plus minus, and we are using a boost converter in between and converting this 3.7 volt into 5 volt, and this is going to VCC of A6 mini, and then through the same VCC 5 volt through a voltage regulator, 3V3 voltage regulator, going to ESP32. Okay, and the all grounds are common. So now you see we are also connecting our laptop somewhere here through the USB port on Wishtri board, and and this is also going to this common VCC rail. So you can see here is a kind of conflict between two voltages, but so keep in mind, normally in our Wishtri board we have this USB to TTL that has got one Schottky barrier, and normally your laptop also has got a Schottky barrier. So it shouldn't happen that your LiPo voltage flow back and get into your laptop USB, so it might damage your this USB interface, but normally laptop maybe has something inbuilt as well, but still please keep this in mind. So don't make it more than 5 volt. 5.2 volt is okay, it works better, but not much more than that, because USB is anyway supplying 5 volts. So 5 volt from there and 5 volt here, that will not be a big clash. But if you make it 7 volt or something like that, if you are using a 7.4 volt LiPo, please keep in mind your laptop should be protected, and actually in the device you don't need this laptop connection at all, because anyway this will run on the LiPo battery. But why we are connecting the laptop? Because we want to see the Arduino serial monitor. That is the main reason for attaching the laptop, because anyway the current that comes from laptop USB won't run your A6 mini, so you need both this. One is for this laptop is for serial monitor, and this is for supplying the power. Once you don't need a serial monitor, so you can remove this laptop part. Okay, and the A6 Mini UTX should go to RX2 of ESP32 and URX2P TX2. These are hardware serial in ESP32, and the reset button of A6 Mini should through 10K ground should go to through 10K register should go to the ground. Okay, ESP8266 is similar, just that ESP8266 do not have a hardware serial. We use software serial here. So we in our code we defined RX for pin 4 as RX, 5 as TX. So just keep in mind this TX goes to URX and this RX go to UTX of A6 Mini, and reset similar, and all the power options similar. So this is about the circuit, and I will also tell you the GPS circuit, though we are not doing the GPS tracker here, but I will give you the code and you do it. And here is the circuit for the GPS. So you need mainly 3 pins. One is for VCC, ground to Neo 6M, and in software serial again you can use 4 and 5. TX RX, this RX may not be required in Neo 6M because we are not sending anything to Neo 6M, we are only receiving data from it. So TX connection to RX of receiver of ESP8266 should be enough, and ESP32 should also be same, just the changes is this instead of the software serial we have hardware serial pin 16 and 17. Okay, let's begin with our first task. We'll be making a call to this phone number using AT commands issued from Arduino IDE serial monitor. Okay, so I'll give you the code and the circuit drawing. So for now just have a look how it works. So we'll be doing this project on ESP8266. We are using A6 Mini as GSM module, so use a 2G SIM in it. You can use a 3G 4G SIM as well for calls and SMS, but don't use a 3G 4G SIM when you are doing a HTTP over TCP. Today we are not covering HTTP. We'll cover that in some later stage. So let us make a call here. So how to do, you type AT, okay, in the serial monitor in caps and press enter. If it comes back with an OK, that means it is working. Okay, then you type ATD. D is for dial. Then dial out your number 7502650 and then enter. So let us see if the call is through. So it is telling something, call 1, and then here is the call. Okay, so here's the call. You can hang up the call by using ATH. H is for hang, and then press enter. So the call is cut. So this is how you can make a call and using AT command. And also if the call is not through, have a look at this A6 Mini module. If this green LED is blinking very feebly, that means it is not getting enough current to make the call. So sometimes GSM module need up to 1.5 amp of current, so you have to keep that in mind. You have to design your circuit that way. So now let us call back to this number. We have missed call from there, so let us call back. So let us see what happens. So it says ring ring ring, so it is ringing now. So so how to use this ring, we'll use it later. So we can receive call and SMS in this number, and we can make our microcontroller do something based on this received call and SMS. So we'll come to that later. Okay, so now let us move on to the next part. Now we'll call this phone number and push up a button on this device. Okay, so what will essentially happen is, like, all the AT commands are already written in the code. So we have saved a phone number, we have written the AT commands already in the code, and our microcontroller at the push of this button issuing all these commands to the A6 Mini. So this A6 Mini, this and this, then dialing this number. Okay, and then it is hanging after 10 seconds. Okay, so let us push this button, and let us first switch on monitor and then push this button. Let us see what happens. So it says some OKs, and now I'm expecting the call. So here the call came. It will ring for 5, 6, 10 seconds, then it will hang. So why not 10 seconds? Because it takes some time to get the call through, so you can make the delay time more to get the ring duration more. Okay, so this can be implemented as a emergency button, so you can write logics like that. When there's emergency, you push this button, it the call goes to some number and rings for this many seconds, and then it goes to second number, third number, and then cyclically call these three numbers, and then hang up after three times effort on each number. So you can write that kind of logic, and it can use as a emergency push button, panic button. Okay, so here is the last part. We send an SMS and push up a button on this device. This, you can call this a panic button on a safety device. Okay, so when you push this button collect your location and send it through SMS to a designated number. Okay, so let us see how that happens. Okay, so I will share you the code. So we are now expecting a SMS and also explain the code, so don't worry, and I will give you the circuits as well. So the SMS is received, so let me open up this SMS now. So you have already seen it. Okay, so here's is the lat long. So currently I am sending a random lat long, but then I will show you how to do get the lat long from a GPS tracker, but I didn't integrate it into this code because it is already very long course. This tutorial becoming very long, so I'll show you that separately. So here is the my position near Titavi, Maharashtra. So this so this is a random one, so this is not exactly my location. So now let us get into the code and the circuit, and also see how the GPS tracker works and how you can get the GPS lat log from the tracker and then send it into the SMS. So you need to have a look at the codes for that. Okay, so hello, now let us have a look at the codes very quickly. So here's the code for the first one, interactive AT call using ESP8266. So this is where we are doing this, creating the software serial with pin 4 as RX and pin 5 as TX. Okay, and the rest of the part is easy. What we are doing, actually we are writing something. So these are the AT commands. We are not covering the AT commands in detail, but AT commands are like this. These 4 AT commands are very basic, so it is needed only for the first time when you are running the SIM card. It is getting the SIM card ready, but if you fire this every time, there is not a problem. Okay, so what we are doing, actually we are writing this AT commands through our microcontroller to the software serial, which is my serial, and this my serial is actually sending this to the 2G module. And this update serial function, after every command we are doing this update serial function. This update serial function is actually, what it does is, when there is something available in the serial, that is in the Arduino IDE monitor, it reads that first and write it on the my serial. That means it read from the Arduino serial and write it on the A6 mini serial, and also do the vice versa. When there is something available from the A6 mini serial, it read it from there and write on our Arduino IDE monitor. So this is it. When during setup, this thing is set up, and then in the loop it continuously do only update serial. So when we write something in the monitor, AT or ATD, then the phone number, it reads it and write to the A6 mini, and whatever A6 mini has in reply, it reads that and write it up on our Arduino IDE monitor. So this is how it works. So the next one is the same interactive call on ESP32. We didn't show it, but you can do it. So here is the code. You just don't need this software serial because ESP32 has got a hardware serial already there. So these are pin 16 and 17, RX2 and TX2. So this is just one line change and it will work as the rest of the thing is same. Okay, then we go to the button call. When you push a button, this call goes here. We have everything remains same. We have done it on ESP32. So we only created this serial. Okay, and then define my phone number. So you should change to your phone number. Okay, and then what you gotta do is So after the setup is done, what is doing, so it is updating serial as it is. So it was doing that all the time, and then it is also reading if this pin is high, call pin. So we defined a call pin, pin 13, if it is normally grounded through 10k. If it is high, so someone pressed it, then make call. So what is make call function? Make call function is nothing what we were typing in the Arduino IDE monitor. The microcontroller does it by itself, so the call. Okay, next one is about direct SMS. So this is just the SMS. How? So there is so we have some AT commands for making a call. So similarly we have some AT commands to send a SMS. So here we are just following that. Okay, it is the same. When so we are doing some random lat long, so you are not getting it from a real GPS tracker, but I will give you the GPS tracker code. You should get this from a GPS tracker reading. Okay, then we are creating a message. We are creating this whole message that we receive, HTTP and then map.google then q. So this is the format. Using this you can send a link to using SMS. So this is how it is sent. So we are sending this message here, and the message is being sent to our phone. Okay, so how this is different from the button call, this direct SMS call from button call. So if you look at here, the button call, what it does in the loop, it keep on working and just keep checking if this pin is high. Okay, so if you have made this pin high, but the SMS on the other way, what it does, it don't run anything in the loop. Okay, it don't run anything in the loop, so it just run the setup code once. So what is the difference? The difference is that you can just put a, after the setup is finished, you can just put it here, esp.deepsleep. Okay, and parenthesis without any time limit, so it will go for sleep forever. So whenever you press that panic button, that is actually reset button, this reset the device, and it will send you, and it will run this whole code again. So it will get new lat long and send you this lat long. So with this you make the microcontroller sleep for the whole the time, and you save on battery. So this is the use case like that. You are not tracking this person for all the time. Only when he or she presses the button, you get a SMS with the location. Okay, what else you can do with this deep sleep? You can do like this. You can put a time like 30 into e to the power 6. These are in microseconds. So sorry, I type it at wrong location. I should type it here. So this cursor has came now, I think. So 30 into e to the power 6. So we sleep for 30 seconds, or you can make it 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes it sends you it wakes up and sends you the location SMS, or else if the user also presses the button, it sends you the location. So it works that way. Okay, so this is the different kind of use cases you can make with just changing the codes. Okay, so I will just comment it out, and then I will give you all these codes. So and then this is the GPS tracker code. I'm not integrating it here, so you can use the GPS module I said, and then you can run this GPS tracker code on it, and you will get everything like longitude, latitude from these GPS trackers. Okay, latitude and longitude. So you just, instead of this lat long, you need to take that lat long and put here, then you get a real location. Okay, so that is it. So now let me tell how you can finish this project. So you can put your whole thing into an enclosure like this. Okay, and then you can cover it like this. Okay, so you can keep the antenna outside, or you can roll up the antenna inside. So anyway, inside plastic cover, this antenna will work. So then you have these panic buttons, maybe this or maybe this. So how to approach this panic button? So you need to have something like this some long press button. So this can come out from above. Okay, so yeah, so it will come out from this, and the user can press it here, or you can use like this, and this is a right angle button. If you look at here, so you can use a right angle button here, and you put it here, so it comes out from the side, and someone can press it like this. Okay, so you also need to take care it is not pressed accidentally. So other things that you can do is, like, you can use this thing. So once you have covered it up, this thing can come out somewhere here. Okay, and covered with appropriate this kind of plastic cover, and you can press this button, say call 1, call 2, SMS 1, SMS 2. So this buttons are preset numbers, so call 1, call 2, SMS 1, SMS 2, or something like that. So, and also, so we have option to use both ESP32 or ESP8266. So which one to use here? So that depends on many regions, because so if you like need if you are only tracking, so you have a GPS tracker and you have a 2G module, so this would be enough, and it will give a good battery life also. But if you need additional GPIOs, wake up options, like GPIOs for ignition on off, GPIO for like sharp turn, harsh brake, so accelerometer, gyro, those kind of thing, then I think you need to go with it. But it will eat up a lot of battery.